Why do chart exhibits in case interviews derail 80% of MBB candidates? I knew a candidate was brilliant. He interpreted the chart perfectly. He made multiple observations to the interviewer, but he never got to the central insight. He never got to the meaningful insight that would have driven the case forward, and he got rejected. I'm Ashwin, an ex-Bain manager turned coach, and I've helped hundreds of aspirants launch their dream consulting career at top-tier consulting firms. And today I'm going to teach a system that will never let a complex chart exhibit derail your case performance. Now, MBBs don't want chart wizards. Rather, they want clear thinkers who can interpret data effectively, who can derive meaningful insights that can drive the case forward. Today, you learn the system that I teach my mentees, which ensures insightfulness while maintaining speed. So when handed a chart, resist the urge to talk immediately. Here's the 60-second protocol that I teach my mentees. First 20 seconds, orient yourself to the chart. So read the title, read the axis, the labels, the units. Identify what depends on what. After that, the next 20 seconds, it's about pattern recognition. So spot the trend, identify the correlations, find any outliers. Final 20 seconds, focus on the so what. Connect it to the case question. Contextualize other information that the interviewer has already shared with you. Try to assess what does this data mean for the client and his key question. And then determine the next steps. What next analysis is required? What is the next area of prioritization based on this insight? Only then you speak. The key observations are 1 and 2. The central insight is XYZ. This means next we should investigate ABC. Now, average candidates, they just state observations. The top 1% that land MBB offers, they don't just state observations. Rather, they focus all their time on finding the critical insight. So, let me give you an example. An observation would be to say something like, the revenue grew 20% last year. This doesn't differentiate you. This doesn't make you a standout hire. An insight would be, the revenue growth of 20% despite flat volume means we are successfully premiumizing. We are able to command a higher price in the market. Now that is the standout insight. This is the kind of insight that helps you land offers. This is a meaningful implication that can drive the case forward, that can determine what hypothesis you would want to test next. Here's the insight formula that I teach all my mentees. First, identify what changed. That is the observation. That doesn't help you land offers. The second thing is determine the so what. What is the implication of this observation? What does it mean for the client? Now that is a meaningful insight. That is what helps you land offers. Third, you map out what should we do based on this insight. That's action. That is what drives the case forward. Always, and let me tell you, always connect numbers to business implications. Never leave numbers floating in thin air without any context. So instead of saying our break-even revenue requirement is $2 billion, say something more meaningful. The $2 billion revenue requirement is roughly 5% of the country's retail market. That is a significant penetration level which we need to achieve in order to break even. But with the right targeting and messaging, it should be achievable. Now, this shows business judgment. This shows that you are above just math interpretation skills. You have what it takes to identify the so what. What does this quantitative answer mean for the client? What does it mean for the business? Math doesn't win cases. Deriving meaningful insight from interpreting the data does. Clear thinking does. Charts don't provide answers, so don't focus your time only on observations. What drives the case forward, what provides an answer to the key question that the client has, is your analysis. So listing 10 chart observations impresses nobody. And if you spend all your time listing this went up by this much, that went down by this much, you will fail the case. You will win an offer only if you identify the central meaningful insight that drives the case forward. The key so what. That's what impresses the partners. So practice this method that I'm sharing with you until it's automatic. Your insightfulness and your relevance of the insights will soar, while your stress when analyzing exhibits will plummet. So what's your biggest challenge with case exhibits? Do drop it in comments. Thank you for watching.